Hello FlossTube, I'm Nicole and this is DDs FlossTube episode number 94. Good evening everybody, no matter where you're watching from. Thank you for taking some time out of your day while I prattle on about all the things that I have worked on this week, of which I have worked on 4. I have a finish, I have something to talk about, well actually I have 2 finishes. 2 finishes, but they're not cross-stitch related. And I also have a sewing tutorial that went up this week, and the channel has been very busy indeed. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video yet again and joining me. I do appreciate you being here. So just a few things that I'd like to talk about first is we have a buy me a coffee link down below, and that if you should happen to buy me a coffee, that helps support the channel so I can bring you more great content. So maybe consider that, and if you're liking the video, give it a like right now, and then that way I can get seen in the algorithm a little bit more. All right, so as I said, we're here to talk about cross stitch. I've worked on 4 projects this week. I can't believe I've worked on 4, although one I only really worked on for an hour, but I've been doing other things in the background. So I have been working on my hexes, which is with what I was working on for crafting with DDs. I've also done some work on a little cushion that we were doing for that I created for slow stitching Saturday. So it's all been happening. So I've been doing a lot of stitching, but just not all on cross stitch. But we are here to talk about cross stitch. So grab yourself a cuppa, grab yourself some stitching or knitting or whatever that you're working on right now, or just grab yourself a cuppa, sit back, relax and listen to what I've got to say. All right, so I've got my cuppa, I've got my water because my voice is still a little bit croaky, and every now and again I'll just have a coughing fit for no apparent reason, so I have to have my water close handy. So if I need to have a drink, I will be having a drink during this video, and I know some people don't like that, but it is what it is. All right, I've changed out my my things for spring decor, although I'm still keeping the autumn one up. I really like that tree. That tree was my nemesis, and I'm working on another one at the moment. And I realized that I've actually got the spring one in a kit in my kit. I've got a drawer where everything's kitted up, so things that I buy as kits and stuff like that. So I've got that. I didn't realize that I had got it. I must have got it at the same time as I got the winter one. So I'm working on the winter one at the moment, but I've put no stitches into that. So yeah, I've done a little bit of redecorating at the back here, and we've got similar. Brendan brought me some flowers, and they've lasted a couple of weeks. I've been quite surprised. I mean, they came with that plant food satchel, and normally he doesn't buy those sort of flowers. He just gets ones from Aldi, but those ones he brought me them before my birthday, and they're still like, it's 2 weeks since my birthday, or week since my birthday. A little bit longer than a week. So yeah, yeah, they lasted quite a bit. They're on the downhill run now, but they're still, that's lasted a while. All right, so this month is September, and I'm working on samplers for Sampler September. So if you've been following me over on Instagram, you would have seen me posting up pictures and whatnot of where they were started and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to put a little picture up in the corner so you can see where I started from and now where I'm at. As I said, one of them I only worked on it for an hour, and I'm going to start with that one. So it is the it's from the Gift of Stitching magazine. It's an online magazine that you can get, and I believe there's 72 or 73 issues. And last week after I mentioned it, it came up in my Facebook feed, and it was only $39 US or $39.90 US for all of their issues, which, as I said, it's either 72 or 73. So this was published back in 2012 in May, June, and issues 72. There is quite a number of pages to it, and so it's not in color because I just printed it off on my printer in black and white. So that's what it's going to look like. It is by WC Designs, and Walder Champs is the person that designed it, and it is inspired by the red Bristol samplers. So if you don't know what a Bristol sampler is, they're from an orphanage that was in Bristol. I don't know. So yeah, so it says here that Walder Champs has very cleverly created a sampler inspired by the red Bristol samplers. So it's not a genuine one. It's not a reproduction one. And she has captured the meticulously stitched alphabets motif stitched by boys and girls preparing for household service. Excuse me, from the Bristol orphanages in England. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups again today. Every time I get on camera lately, I get the hiccups. I don't know why, but anyway, they're all the alphabets. I've started up here. I am stitching this in purple because it's not a genuine reproduction. Where is it? And the thread that I am using is DMC 550, so it's a really nice purple. That's probably the color of it right there. Okay, so I'll leave that over there, pop that one over there, and this is on a huge piece of fabric, and I've got this tiny little hoop. So yeah, so where I was at, I'll just pop that up into the corner. This one I only spent an hour on, and these alphabets are huge. Like, these are big. Like, there's my 2 fingers, okay, and so you can see how big this alphabet is. So this is my favorite alphabet. I love this style of alphabet. So when you've seen this last, I had AB there, I had the N, and I had just started the O. So I finished the O and I started on the P. So I'm just working my page as far as I can go. I've got to get a bigger hoop for this, but whew, that's some fabric there. And I'm stitching this on 32 count even weave Ice Coffee is the color, and I got that from Sew It All Australia. So let me just pull it back a bit. You might be able to see that mottling. So yeah, it looks a little bit grungy, like it's a little bit aged. So as I said, I didn't get much into that. I only spent an hour on that, but that's okay. The next one that I worked on, which I'm going to talk about because it's big and I'm going to get rid of it, and I'll just move this seat over here. It is my Snow Village. We started on our next block this week, so that's where I'm up to. And then I realized as well that I thought I had finished this one. I knew that I hadn't done the back stitching, but I thought I'd done all the crosses on this one, and I'd missed all the snow on top of the garland. I'd only done half the leg. So this one is back in, but I have taken off the permanent stays off the side, because once this is finished, which you can see, I've done a fair bit of it. We don't have a lot to go on that. And it's going to look like, I've done this around the wrong way today, but that's okay. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay, and that's what it looks like right now. So I've nearly finished all the snowflakes. I think I've got 2 or 3 snowflakes to do, and I'm just working down. But it's coming together really nicely. I do that every week on my Stitch With Me, and hopefully, like, as quick as I'm going, like, I might have this, I'll be down, definitely by Monday, I'll be very, very close to a finish on that last block, and I reckon not this Monday coming, the Monday after, I should be down onto the next row, which means that I'll be smashing through that. And they're not really big block, like there's a big banner one in the center that has lots of little snowmen, but those snowmen go really, really, really quick. Like, I was quite surprised. There's a lot of wide, but you know, hey. So I've got the so this is a big one. This is worth 2 of these. So, and you can see it's just trees, so it's not going to take very long. The snow is probably what's going to take the longest. The snowmen are really quick as well. And then I've got a couple of houses there. They go pretty quick once I get all the layout done. And yeah, so I'm hoping at least by the end of the month I should be down onto the next one. And if I can get that row done in October, that means that November I've only got that last row right up until Christmas, and I might get this finished. I was not expecting it, but using it as my Stitch With Me, it's really working for me, because I stitch on it every Sunday. And then I'll either film late in the afternoon, I'll film the Stitch With Me, or I'll stitch it for film it first thing in the morning on Monday. So I spend a really lot of time on that each week, and it's really working for me. Well, not really, probably about 5-6 hours each time. But I'm starting to get into the rhythm of it now. It's on that frame, like that'll stay on that frame until I work on my next one. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the progress that I'm making on that. So fingers crossed, everybody, you need to cross your fingers and your toes and your eyes if you have to, so I get that finished, because then in December, Chrissy and I are going to be starting one, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video when we start talking about plans, because as you know, I'm working on Sampler September, but we've got October coming up and we've got some plans for that. All right. So the next one that I'm working on, this is a genuine reproduction. It is by it's called Janet Irving Sampler, and it's charted by Jean Farish. And this is actually her family's, this actually belonged to her great-great-grandmother of her children. So, three greats? There's a few greats in there of her daughters, Catherine, and I forget her other daughter's name. Sorry, Jean, if you ever see this this video. But that's what it's going to look like. Now it's got eyelets in it, and it's got four-sided stitches in it as well. And I posted it up, my progress up on both Instagram and also on the YouTube community tab. And I just got a thread here that's caught, so I'll just get rid of that. And yeah, and I had actually a couple of people ask me, I had a couple send me an email, and then a couple ask me in Messenger and whatnot of what the stitches are. So I've got a four-sided stitch, and it's a bit tricky to hold too. So, oh, it's come out. Oh, dearie me. Because I didn't have this frame when I started it. It came a little bit after, so the fabric's cut for into a hoop. So that's what I've done. So you can see the picture of where I started, okay, and I'm just trying to hold it, not as professional this week. It's really, you know what, I'll just let it roll. That's not going to come out. All right, that's better. All right, so that's where I am at. So when you seen it last, I had done a couple of letters, and that's really, like, this is going pretty fast, and I only worked on this for two days, a total of I think 3 hours all up while watching TV. So it's still getting, you know, I've still got a lot of stitching to do and whatnot. And yeah, so, and I'm doing really well on the back. It's fairly neat on the back as well, so I'm pretty happy with that considering all the color changes and whatnot. But I'm using all my techniques that I use in that I showed in the video the other day on the channel, which is how to start and stop on both even with an aider without having to flick your work, because I'm so lazy. I hate flicking my work. All right, so I'll have to re-put that in the frame. So yeah, I worked about 3 hours on that, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it again. So these you're going to see quite a bit this month. Now, as I said, I was finishing up a lot of other stuff in the background, so that's why I haven't got much more other than this next one, which is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm. And I'm sorry about my dodgy picture, but I've got a saving somewhere. So that's what it's going to look like when it's finished. I'm up in this section here, so I've done a bit of the border, and I've been working around here. And I actually, as you can see, that's where I started this month. I don't normally do the start and stop ones, but these only sort of come out in September. Sometimes I might work on them during the year, but they've only been out. I think I worked a little bit on Janet Irving a couple of weeks after September, and the others were done in September, and that was it. All right, so you can see the picture where it was last year, and I have put, this was only one evening that I put in, and about an hour the next morning, and I've got a cute little bear, and I've got threads hanging everywhere because I'm still stitching, and I've started doing this across here, and then I started doing the alphabet. So when you seen it, I didn't have any grass. I think I only had a little bit of grass here. There was no bear. So I finished off all the grass, I finished off the bear. I didn't do anything on the border because that was already there. I moved the hoop a bit, and then I done this here, which was super easy to do, and then the alphabets, which are pretty quick as well. So that was one evening's work. I think I had done a line. Yes, I did. I had done the line of the grass, so I finished off that line. I think I'd come to about there, finish off the line, and then got all that in. So the next bit that'll be here is part of the house, but I'm just working the alphabet and some of the words down here. And yes, I do have safety pins holding that up because it kept getting in the way. It was annoying me. So I thought, bugger it, I'll pin that up, and yeah. And yeah, it's coming along really, really nicely. I'm really, really happy with it. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm working on this tonight. So I will get some more stitches in that tonight. All right. What else? And that's all the stitching that I've done. Short and sweet today for stitching. But I do have a couple of finishes that I want to talk about. And I've got a piece of thread in my eye. It feels like a bit of dust or something. But yeah, I've got a couple of finishes. So as you know, I have been doing crafting with DDs on a Thursday and slow stitching Saturday, obviously on a Saturday. And so I'm working on a wool felt project at the moment. And so I created a small pattern for anybody that wanted to do some wool felt, give it a try if they hadn't done it. And I did mine in fabric. So I've done mine in raw edge applique and shaggied it up a bit, but it's now fully finished. So if you were around on Saturday, you would have seen I had just stuck it all down. I hadn't done, I think I'd done a little bit of the stitching. I hadn't actually finished it. So that afternoon I finished it off, and then I've just put this little, I love this. This is a yarn that I got from what we call a cheap shop here. So they have like $2 items and stuff like that. And I got this last year, and it's quite a thick, chunky one. I've got some thinner ones that I use to make like cording and stuff like that, so two-tone. But this one's nice and fluffy, and it's nice and thick, and I haven't been able to find it since. So I just keep an eye out, and then I've just got an orange dot on the back. And yeah, and I've just whip stitched all that down, but that is super cute. And you can find that pattern underneath the episode 5 of Slow Stitching Saturday. There is a link there to go and find it. There is also a Halloween and also a spring one for those in the southern hemisphere, but we all know that I was going to start the autumn one first because I love all things autumn. All right, so that was the Slow Stitching Saturday one. And then on Thursdays I do a crafting with DDs, and so we've been working with English paper piecing. So I'm working on a quilt that I keep sharing with the lovelies that watched me on there. And then last week my 1-inch hexagons kept falling out, so I picked them all up and I decided to make a little cushion with it. And I have now finished that cushion, and you can go and watch that video. And as I said, it is called Crafting with DDs. It went up yesterday, and I'm holding this cushion. And basically I take you through step by step on how to square it up. So when it looks all jagged on the edge, so we square it up, and then we make an envelope, a really simple envelope cushion. So this is for out in my studio, and I've had this fabric. I don't have any more of this fabric left, I'm sorry. I've had this fabric for a very long time, since 2015, but I think it suits it quite nicely. So yeah, either way, it's a nice cushion to have on my little, I've got a little sofa out here where I sit and stitch or sit and read sometimes when it's really noisy in the house or whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty happy how it turned out. And it was really random. There was no real rhyme or reason to it. I just put all the hexagons down and started sewing. So you can see here I've got a collection of dark ones which has sort of created a flower, and then you got this where I've got this coming down. Yeah, in the end it was really hard to get like a good contrast happening, but I'm pretty happy with it. Like it's fine. It's used them up, and they were from an Instagram swap that I did. So anybody that's been watching, you know that we've been around, like they've been around for a while. The other thing that I made this week was a little ice cream or noodle in a cup holder. So you get these little tubs of, I think these are like I think they're a pint, so I'm not really sure, but they're 470 milliliters, so almost half a litre of ice cream. And they're just a little tub that we get here, and they sit in here perfectly, and you can hold them, and they don't make your fingers all cold, because we have our own tubs in these, and like this is only 360. I'm not sponsored by them, but hey, if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. But anyway, I like their ice cream. So basically, yeah, and you can use it also for, you know, those noodles in the cup as well. Perfect for that. You can even, this would even fit a mug in it as well. Like, it's not designed for it, but you know, your wine glasses and stuff like that. It'd also be perfect. We were talking about, I forget who I was talking about it with, but I was talking about it the other day. The cozies and stuff like that would be good for people that are in caravans as well, because you'd be able to put your glasses in there and then sit them inside of one another. And same as the plate cozies and the bowl cozies, you can, and they're not banging around and all that sort of stuff. So there's another cozy. We have a playlist for that called the Cozy List, and I'm adding more and more cozies to it. Every couple of weeks I put a cozy one up on there. But that is it as far as making things, but we do have some plans coming up. So every year for the last couple of years, we have done DDs Spooktober. You can see the graphic just there. That's what it looks like. That will start appearing as of next week. It will start appearing on all the socials. So if you've got some Halloween stitching that you would like to get done, we stitch every day. We try to stitch on something Halloween. I am going to be changing out my Snow Village for Halloween Quaker because I do not have much time left on that, and I'm going to I don't know whether I'm going to do an extra stitch with me and work on that, or whether I will just swap out or maybe do half and half. We'll see how we go, but I'm still putting those plans in place. But grab out all your Halloween stuff and tag us over at DDs Spooktober for 2022, and or just DDs Spooktober. Either way, the hashtags, tag us over on Instagram, share it with us in the Facebook group or over on our business page. You will find all the information that you need underneath this video, as well as over on Instagram, and you'll just have to keep an eye out for this little image, and you will see that. Then you'll know it's time to get ready. A couple of years ago I done 31 starts, so I actually have quite a number. I've finished some of them, but I have quite a number of Halloween ones, so you will be able to see all the different Halloweens, ones that I'm going to be working on throughout the month of October. All right, so the other plans that I have is I'm going to continue working on my September samplers, or Sampler September. I always get it mixed up, and get some more stitches into that. I'm hoping to have a page finish on each one. That is my goal for the end of the month. So if I can have a page finish, and I'm pretty close to a page finish on the blue flower one, and the other two, well, they're going to take a little bit longer, but hopefully I will get a page finish for each of those, and then I will be happy with that. I will set them aside till next year. I might work on them during the year. We'll see how we go. But I've got plenty of other things to work on. The other thing that I was talking about a little bit earlier is we will be having a friend of mine that I know online, and she also follows me over on my Bookstagram and also on Booktube. We were talking the other day, and it looks like that we are going to do a stitch along for Peppermint Lane, I think it's called. So this is what the first block looks like. It is by Pansy Quilts and Stitchery, and I will leave a link to their website down below. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I just absolutely love this, and I am actually going to do it as one big long piece. So again, I'm not doing the separate ones. I believe there's 9 blocks in it, and I'm going to do it as like a street. And I'm also considering doing Glitter House Village that way as well, and I'm going to do it on 40 count, 46 count maybe. It'll be a meter long if I do it on 46 count. So that's a decent size. So a meter is a little bit bigger than a yard, so it's about, I think it's about 6 inches bigger than a yard. Something like that. Yeah, it's something like that. So yeah, because I think a yard is 91 centimeters and a meter is 100 centimeters. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger. It's about 38 inches roughly, for those that work in inches. So yeah, so it's a decent size, and it's only about yay high, so it'll be a nice little strip one that I can sit above the TV or something like that at Christmas. And the colors in it aren't like super Christmassy, so I could get away with having it up all the time. And so yeah, so the plan is that I'm in the process of getting all my fabrics and everything together. And so we're looking at starting that in December. So the 1st of December, we're thinking of starting that. So if you want to join in the fun, you can by all means join in the fun. But that is it for me today. That's all I've done. That's all, folks. If you've made it this far, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you are new here and you've yet to subscribe or a returning viewer, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any future posts. I would just like to wish you all a very happy day, and hopefully you get lots of stitches in, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.